I had watched, let me see, another one of your videos on your YouTube channel, and you played your first beat ever, and
it was so whack.
to say, like, okay, like, to me, it was not that bad. Like, I really felt like
You're really nice. You're really nice.
I'm like not like lying it out. Like, it was not that bad for me. Like, it just kind of like. Well, honestly, it wasn't bad at all. You think it was bad, so I'm just telling you it wasn't bad to me. But for the reason why it wasn't bad or that bad was because, like, just like knowing, like, or at least like me having like a good idea of your sound from listening to the music, like it was kind of a foreshadowing almost, like that, you know, like this is like where you came from. Like I can kind of like hear, like I heard like certain influences that are similar to what you do now. So I thought it was really like dope.
Thank you. That was deep. That was deep. I think maybe I feel a little bit better about it now.
I don't know, like maybe because like, you know, you obviously created, like you may not be able to hear it. But like, I don't know, like I heard it. So I was like, I like it kind of makes sense, like to kind of like, you know, where you are now with it. So I don't know if you made a video about this or not, and I'm so sorry if you did, but like I just kind of wanted to know if you can like walk us through like your beat making process from start to finish in a nutshell, maybe.
Ooh, that's hard. I think most of the time what happens is I'll play around on my keys and I'll just try to get a chord progression or try to get a melody or something like that. And then that's usually what I'll come up with first, either that or a bass line sometimes. It's usually the music part starts first, and then I'll try to come up with what I want for the drums to sound like. So I'll go through and, you know, try to find like the right sounding drums. And then I also use like reference songs on the side. Like if there's a song that has the feeling of the same kind of drums that I want, then I'll use that to try to match the sound of the drums to make it sound more like commercial or just like more mixed. So then I'll do that, and then I just keep adding until I get to white noise. When I get to white noise, that's when I know like, okay, I'm almost done. Like if almost all it needs is some white noise, then I'm pretty much like it's coming to an end. And then I'll just like go through and listen probably for like a few days. I'll try to listen in my car. I'll try to listen in different headphones and see how the mix sounds and stuff like that. And then that's pretty much it.
So you like really be sitting with it. Like
I try to, because sometimes you can think something's good and then like a couple days later it's not good.
That's
so
funny.
I try to.
Do you like kind of do it at like a certain time of the day? Or like work, you know, like at a certain time of the day on music?
No. I think normally it's at night just because I work my job during the day, so that's usually when I'll get started. But no, I could work anytime.
Would you say like one time is like better than the other, like creatively, or like when things have worked, like are you able to like go back and say like, you know, we kind of came up with this like in the morning or like in the night?
I think it's usually if in my mind I don't have to stop at a certain time. So if it's like I have the day off work, then I'm probably gonna make a beat that day or write a song that day that I'll be happy with. Because usually if I can just keep going, I feel like that's when I end up with my favorite work. But if it's like already 9 at night and I have to be up super early, then I think to myself, okay, I have to stop at a certain time. That's what usually kind of like impedes my judgment. So I don't know if it's like a certain time of day. It's usually just me trying to figure out like how much time do I have to finish it or whatever.
You recently did a remix with Jay Sannon to your song Somebody, and like I'm really kind of sad though because I just found out about that collab, because like, man, like I really like that song, and low-key I kind of needed that song last summer when it came out. And the original one was out, but I just didn't know about it, and I'm like, yo, like, this is so good. And then I heard the remix and I'm just like, of course, like, BreeKay, like, just, like, snapped on it. And, like, I'm, like, not capping, though, like, so kind of, like, talk about, like, creating that remix. And then I have another question just about remixes after that.
Okay. So Jay Stannon hit me up and he told me I want to make a remix to somebody for my next, that's what I want to be my next release. And I was like, okay. And then I think maybe like either a couple weeks later or like a month later or something, he sent me a beat and was like, what would you think of this for the remix to somebody? And I listened to it and I already had ideas of what I wanted to do. So I just recorded him on my phone and I told him like, I think this will work. This will definitely work. So then he was like, okay. And then he like sent me different versions of the beat. I think like the producer who's Machu, I think is his, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's spelled Machew, but he did a really good job. And I think that he had him just like make revisions to the beat and stuff like that. So Jay Stannon sent that to me. He recorded his part. And then originally he like wanted to do his own hook thing and was like, can you sing this with me? And I was like, sure. And then I guess he took it to his friend, Jekka Soul, and she told him, you sound like a dead corpse, which is crazy.
Oh my God.
So he changed it. And then he was just like, you know what? You just do the hook. I'll take a back seat on it. You just do it. And I was like, can you sing it with me though? You know, whatever I write, you sing it with me. And he was like, yeah. So then I did that, the hook, the final hook that it was. He liked it. And then he wanted us to like sing the bridge together. That was like the original pre-hook of the first song and stuff. So it turned out really good. And he redid his verse. So his verse was, I loved his verse on this one. I feel like he had a lot of energy and all that stuff, whereas before it was a little bit more mellow, a little bit different. So it turned out really good. But honestly, like I really have to shout him out because I just feel like I love him so much. He's like he's one of our really good friends, and he works really hard, and I feel like he doesn't see it. He's very humble about his, his work ethic and things, but he works really hard and constantly. So, and he's easy to work with.
So I watched his podcast with you, BreeKay, and he was just talking about like how you like really like sat with the concepts and like were really intentional about it. And like, man, I just love it. And then how you just listen to like your beats like for a number of days and stuff before like deciding if it's really good. And I think it just like really shows. And I gotta say, like, I feel like when like women like do stuff, like I feel like it just has like a level of like intention. And not that like, men like don't do that too, but it's just like personally like more refreshing because I just personally don't see it very often or enough, honestly. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of like even female producers that like I'm aware of, at least like within like the kind of like CHH space. I know like of Chrysalis, and then Lex Divine. I know she like does her own beats for her music specifically. I think so. I know she's done it at least for like a couple of songs, if not all of them. But yeah, like, I mean, and I think like it just kind of shows like I said, like the work ethic and whatnot. But another thing that I liked about it was how it was an actual remix. Now, I did not look up the definition for a remix before this, but I feel like you guys can kind of tell the difference between like a remix from the 90s versus a remix from like now, which is simply just like an added artist to the song, and they call that a remix. I mean, maybe, by definition that is, but like, do you have any thoughts on remixes or of the past versus today?
Wait, who are you asking?
Oh, well, both of you.
Yeah, I agree with your 90s like reference. Like, it's literally a different beat, but I feel all kinds of ways with the remixes nowadays. It's like you literally took a beat from the 90s that went #1 just to go #1 again. Like Maria, like Carlos Santana, Maria. Mm-hmm. How DJ Khaled did it. It's like
yeah, it was literally the same thing.
don't
then
get it.
the SZA song.
Yes.
The Outkast song they redid.
Yes, I didn't like
Miss
that.
Jackson, I think. Is it Miss Jackson or was it?
Yeah, they didn't do it justice.
Yeah, like I wasn't feeling like the verses personally.
Yeah,
I
me neither.
the chorus part. If there's anything to share, like what's the states of your dating life of BreeKay and Kasairi?
We don't date. Yeah, we don't date.
And so you guys aren't on any apps either?
No, that's scary to me.
No.
To me, that's like, oh my gosh, heck no. I would never, ever meet like a random person. I don't know you. You're a killer, maybe.
So you guys have never at least like made an account?
No.
I never have.
Uh-uh.
I'm not against it or anything, but I never have.
I'm not either, but for myself, I am. I just don't. You just never know. People crazy out there. Like,
let's kill it too many times.
a lot of Lifetime. A lot of Lifetime movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll just tell you, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure your friends have told you you're not missing a thing, but I'm not on them, like, absolutely nothing. But yeah, like, I'm not doing anything like that, at least not anytime soon. You know, I've,
That's fun because I see you on this app right here. I found you.
Girl, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, no. So, in speaking of love, one thing that, yeah, like another thing that I like admire about you guys is how just kind of like freely I'll say like you guys say I love you and stuff. I guess like you know, especially between like, you know, I don't know, like it's something that a lot of people kind of just reserve for like family and things like that. But you guys like would you guys say that you like just say that to like pretty much everyone, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so like kind of like what like, you know, like leads you to like do that and just express that verbally?
Well, I don't know if you're into like love languages, but my top love language is touch, physical touch, but hers is not. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. She does. But sometimes I think like, I know that a lot of people, not everybody likes to be touched, right? So, but I think that telling somebody you love them is important to me. And because I think about there might be people out there who have never been told that, or that's not common for them to hear. And I just think that it's important to let people know that you love them, especially if you are being the hands and feet of God. You know, like if you're representing Christ and you are walking in love constantly and stuff like that, I think that it's important, especially to the people that are close to you, to let them know that you love them. Even if you can't like, you know, hang out with them or buy them stuff or whatever, like an I love you text is like so meaningful to people. Like you have no idea, you know, especially if you don't know what they're going through. But yeah, I really like and make it a point to tell my friends and family, like, I love you. So even people on the street.
Even McDonald's, like, thank you, I love you.
I do.
That's so sad. I feel like that's what Chick-fil-A employees would probably say too. I feel like they would receive that really well.
People are like, oh, weird. No, what just happened?
It's like, are we married now?
Right, real talk, things are getting serious.
Any new projects coming up that you can speak to? Because, you know, like, we're waiting patiently.
I know.
It's so sweet that people care.
Yeah.
But we are working on a project there's a part to it like where we need quarantine to be done before we can do it. But the music of it is done. But we're probably going to do some releases before that, just so that people aren't waiting forever.
Yeah.
But I will say though, like, even though, like, unfortunately I was unaware of some of the features, like, for now they have satiated me, so I can wait a little bit longer.
That's good.
But yeah, and then kind of just like a follow-up to that, like, is there just like whatever like you're willing to share, that like how's this gonna be like different from like your previous projects?
I think this one is more of a no, go ahead, Jen. You got it.
This one is a little less well, I don't want to say less personal. I feel like normally we tell stories about our lives and like the things that we go through. This one is a little bit more like going to probably challenge listeners to put themselves in these different scenarios. So you just have to listen to it. We can't really explain it without giving it all away. But yeah, I think that from an like angle, it's a little bit different.
Well, I think that like current events for the past couple of years have definitely triggered our minds, our creativity, and kind of gave us the boldness to speak on just, again, like current events, not politically, just, well, media-ish stuff, and just like stuff like that. More.
It's gonna make, well, I hope so. I think it's gonna make listeners just think about their place in different scenarios surrounding, I guess, various like just things like social media or just this. It's, I don't want to give the whole thing away, but it's just a bunch of different scenarios that I think the listener will put themselves in. So rather than it like just directly being about us and our lives and our relationships and our jobs and like stuff like that, it's a little bit different in that regard.
Hey, if you made it this far, thank you so much for tuning into part 2 with BreeKay and Kasairi. If you want to keep up with them, here are their socials. Also check out BreeKay's These Are the Sounds for her beats and merch. Check that out down below. If you enjoyed this episode of Personal Pizza Party Show, like this video, let me know what you think in the comments, and consider subscribing for new episodes and guests each week. And thank you so much for sharing a slice of life with me, and I'll see you later.